In the half-decade of our residence, there was one place we had yet to venture on the Isle. Zokar was its proper name. Atop the ornate staircase, cutting into the clouds, sat the main hall of the settlement. It was a hall with 3 tiers. 2 floors were public, being used for meetings and administration, and the top floor, shrouded in secrecy, had an exclusive clearance list. This uppermost floors of secrets was where we assembled the machine. We caravaned to the hall, parts floating above us in high spirits, as we knew our arduous mission had finally neared its end. A strong sense of dread occupied me as I saw, as I often had, Anik's sharp, cracked horn moving through the crowd. But it vanished, as shadows do when sunlight burns them away. Her ghost haunted me, nothing more. I took Sophia's hand in mine and squeezed. She reciprocated, and everything that made up ourselves transferred through the circuit created by our locked fingers. Then, as the circuit broke, it was gone. Hours after our arrival at the hall, we made it through the ocean of bureaucracy. I joked to myself that it had been more tumultuous than our original journey here. The top floor was devoid of life, so we set about constructing the great machine. We were making history. The labour was great, but we worked together in uniform, and it wasn't long before the machine was ready. Sophia, Florence and I stole a moment for private celebration. Our mission had come to a close. Florence returned to the others, leaving Sophia and me alone. An intense moment of locked eyes passed before I looked away, cursing my cowardice. We two joined the group and primed the machine for its inaugural transmission. My hand shook as I raised it to the lever. I wrapped my fingers around it and, after a moment's hesitation, I pulled it down. Hope filled all present's bodies and grew to a collective amalgam of our aspirations for the future. We all, just for that one instant, became one. Despite our different races, genders, and ages, we all had one shared goal: unification. The top floor of the hall became open to the public, and crowds of Pangeans poured in. When the last Pangean arrived and the doors closed, the machine came to life. We waited as the components whirred, and static filled the screen set into the middle of the device. We waited, and waited, and waited some more. My mind drifted into rumination. Thoughts of guilt, failure, and doubt hit me all at once. But the picture grew until the great, majestic influence of communications came into view.
Majestic influence empire, responding to transmission from the Isle.
The first words cracked and squeezed through the speakers. Zurich of the Positive Charge Guild, reporting, with Zakar of the Zokar settlement of Pangeans, known to us as the Isle. Ampia's face contorted in confusion, and I looked past them at the large number of others standing in the scene's background. For so long, I thought the machine was broken.
Zakar, we are the lands of electromedicine, Gluxia. Wish to meet you in good faith, and welcome you to our growing Imperial Alliance.
Conflict played out on the faces of all the Pangeans present. With a breath, Zakar stood forward. It is my pleasure. The practice we had got over, upon Zakar's request, had paid off. and he could speak our tongue without hesitation. I represent those living here, and we thank you. Ampia's eyes lit up with a little too much glee, and a sudden sense of unnerving grasped me with cold, decrepit fingers. Ampia turned to the others in the room, addressing them.
They almost died out source. They are a race more advanced than we were capable of.
Before they could finish, the sound of roars erupted in the chamber. We swiveled around, trying to locate the source, but the surprise and panic settled in, and the crowd pulsed in terror. The confusion sat heavy as Pangeans swarmed around us, restricting our view and forcing us to wade through the bodies. In the background, I could hear Amphia shouting and chatter from those behind them, but they didn't matter. I searched for Sophia with a fervour. I locked eyes with her, at the other end of the room. Pushing the other bodies out of the way, I approached her, and at last we embraced. I'm not embarrassed to say that I stole the kiss I should have earlier. Quiet befell the room. Everyone slowly settled and made their way out of the hall. We regrouped at the machine, and then it hit me. It wasn't just quiet. It was silent. My eyes darted to the machine, only to be met by an empty black screen and smoking parts. Despair filled me, and all else left my mind and vision. I slumped to the floor, ignoring the others running around behind me, offer condolences or fixes. I saw nothing. Except for one thing. A sharp, cracked horn sat on the floor in front of me. I picked it up, strange in my hands. With trepidation, I turned it, taking it all in. What I saw next elicited a gasp from my throat. A stretchy piece of fabric attached to the horn allowed someone to don it as a costume piece. The horn was fake. The horror realization bathed every one of my cohort's faces as I disseminated the faux horn. An imposter had infiltrated Zokar.